So let's kind of lean into Forbidden because you joined that band after the last interview that we did, so we never really talked about any of this. But I had said, I mean, it's been like a couple of years now, it feels like, but I had said you were a great replacement for that band because a guy like Russ Anderson, is a very good vocalist. His voice was definitely different and suited to that band's music, and I think your voice is definitely along those lines as well. And how did that whole gig come about? Like, how did you end up getting into that band?
Oh, complete accident. There's the disclaimer. This was not planned in any way, shape, or form. But Craig was doing so right off the bat. Craig, Chris, those guys. I didn't really know them. I mean, within the Bay Area scene, I would run into them at a show and maybe, hey, what's up? But we would never like take pictures or hang out and have a drink. We didn't know each other that way.
Sure.
And Craig, I mean, at one point he had me audition for his Dress the Dead band, but it wasn't my thing. So, I passed on that. And then we really didn't talk anymore after that. And then he was doing this thing called Bay Area Interthrashional, where a bunch of, who's who names would play thrash songs, but you can't play your own band song. If you're in Overkill, you got to play a Death Angel song. If you're in Death Angel, you got to play an Exodus song, etc.
Okay, yeah.
So you get just different guys, and it was a whole thing. I didn't know anything about it, but I guess they were getting ready to play. This is like 2.5 years ago or something. They were going to play the Dynamo Festival, and the singers that they were using was Mark from Death Angel, Randy from Lamb of God, some of those guys. So none of them were they were either on tour or they didn't live in the area. And I guess we'll call them Forbidden for now. Forbidden was sort of the core band that, and they were using their rehearsal space. They were filtering guys in and out that would learn the songs and play them, but they were sort of the core band, and they didn't have any singers to keep everybody on target with the, counts and everything.
Sure.
So I think it was Contos who was aware of me just as a singer. It's like, said to Craig, hey, why don't you get that guy Norman to come in and learn the songs? That way he can just help us with the rehearsals. So I got a call from Craig out of the blue. He's like, hey, and he's like, would you be down to learn 12 songs? Come down and rehearse with us for a few weekends just so we are ready when we go to this festival. That was it. And I was like, yeah, man, that's something. I have no problem doing that. And I went down there. There was, a lot of people in there that were, more legend status than I was used to hanging out with, you know what I mean? But I just did my thing. I just kept my shoulders straight, just sang all this. Told you I learned 12. And 3 rehearsals in a row, we only did 11 of the 12 songs. So on the last rehearsal day, or one of the last 2, I said, hey, what about the last song, Off the Edge by Forbidden? Are we going to do that one? And Craig's like, well, we wouldn't play that because, we were in Forbidden. Because the people in the room, it was Craig and Matt. You had Steve Smythe from the Omega Wave lineup. You had Mark Hernandez from the Omega. And, but then you also had Contos, a bunch of other people playing too. But so none of them were going to learn it. And then somebody was like, hey, you guys should just learn it anyway, again, to refresh in case somebody drops out or you have to play the song. So we did it. And then when I was singing it, I guess the door opened behind me and guys that were in the hallway were just like looking in and just being like, oh, what the, and I guess Craig saw them looking at him. He's like, yeah. So I finished the song. And, Craig just said to everyone, he's like, it's not lost on me. He just killed that, but that was it. There wasn't any other talk about anything. They did offer me to do the San Francisco version of Bay Area Interthrashional, where they were doing multi-sets. They were doing US metal, Euro metal, old school thrash.
Yeah.
And they asked me if I would do Chalice of Blood, except the band would be Warbringer, except I would sing instead of their singer. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. But by the end of the whole thing, I had like 9 songs across the set. I was singing more than anyone else. I did Chalice of Blood and the place erupted. Everyone was like looking at Craig because everyone loves Forbidden. They want to see Forbidden do something, right?
Me.
And then I was backstage, and Contos came in. And he's like, "You're stupid if you don't get Forbidden back together with Norm," and blah blah blah. And I'm just sitting there on the couch, like keeping my mouth shut, like, okay. But that's how it all kind of fell into place. And then I guess what happened is Alcatraz festival called Anthrax, the shirt you're wearing. Mm-hmm. They had dropped out. They contacted Craig. They said, "Hey, would you got 35 years of Forbidden Evil. Would you mind getting, maybe Contos on drums and that guy, Norman, or, I think that's what they said, or maybe just another singer and, doing a set." And then that's when I guess the light bulb went off, and he's like, "I'm going to give him a call." So he gave me a call, and I thought I was getting a call from Murder and Thrashable stuff, but no, it was a Forbidden call. And that's how it happened, man. I was just helping out, really. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, just did the work.
Hey everybody, Tony here from the Metal Command podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video, and if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.